Let's go check on our seedlings. I found some algae on them last night, so today we're gonna talk everything algae. Algae can cause dampening off, which is a fungal disease, and it will cause your sprouts to just die. Also, your sprouts will have to compete for nutrients with the algae, which is what we don't want. We don't want those starts to have to compete for everything. We want them to have conditions that they can absolutely thrive in. Before we jump into what to do if your plants have algae on them now, let's talk about preventative. How do you prevent algae from growing on your seedlings? One, you're gonna have good airflow in your seed starting area. So a fan is key to having good airflow in your seed starting area, which will help prevent algae. Two, we're not gonna water too much and we're not gonna let our plants sit in water. And then three, you can add a fine layer of vermiculite to all of your seeds when you're starting them. That will help keep a layer between the soil that's gonna be moist and the light, and that will help prevent algae on the top. All right, now that we know how to keep the algae away, what do we do if our seedlings already have algae on them? Well, I'm guilty. I've got a lot of algae. Let me show you. These are our lisianthus seedlings, and as you can see, they take a really long time to grow. So we're gonna talk about why they have all this algae on them and what to do next. With lisianthus seeds, we usually have this dome on them to help with the humidity and keep them humid. They really love that kind of growing environment. So that can cause a lot of algae. Plus, they're really slow to start. They usually take 2 to 3 weeks to even germinate. And so with this on there, plus the water, and it's warm in here, it's like 75 in here, and then this makes it even warmer. They are prime algae conditions. These are eucalyptus seedlings, and as you can see, they don't have near as much, if any. There's just a little bit of algae in that back corner. But that humidity dome really creates that perfect algae growing condition. You can see that is a lot of algae. I left that humidity dome on way too long, so that's something I did wrong. Once you start to see sprouts, you can take that humidity dome off. I was just really trying to get as many sprouts as I could, but I've learned that maybe I won't do that again. I just took the humidity dome off these trays. I'm not gonna leave it on once I start to see a couple sprouts come up. That means that they've been in great conditions, and I don't want the algae or to promote algae or to encourage the algae to grow here. So we're gonna do 2 things today so I can show you my 2 favorite ways to get rid of the algae. We're gonna add a fine layer of cinnamon on top of our trays, and then we're gonna add a fine layer of vermiculite. Separate. We're gonna do 2 separate things. So either the cinnamon or the vermiculite. And the cinnamon is an antifungal, so that's awesome. And the vermiculite is just, again, a protection between the light and the soil. And it helps soak up the excess water too. Let's sprinkle some cinnamon on these trays to see if we can help kill that algae. Another thing we could do is take some cinnamon sticks and steep them in some hot water, let it sit overnight, and then water with that cinnamon tea. And that would really also, it's an antifungal, so that will really also help us. All right, we've almost got all of that sprinkled on. You can also brush all of that cinnamon off of the leaves. Let's take this one. We're gonna sprinkle some vermiculite on it. Just want a really thin layer of vermiculite. If we've gotten too much on there, we're just gonna blow it off of those seedlings. It has been 3 days since I've watered these, so we're gonna go grab some water, and I'm gonna let the bottom half of these soak up water, and I'm gonna leave the top half dry, and that is gonna help prevent some algae growth. Got our eucalyptus right here, just a tiny little tray. I'm gonna put some water, whoopsie, I'm tipping that. I'm gonna put some water in here, can you see that? Okay, and I'm gonna just let it soak up about an hour, and then I'm gonna drain it. I want you to leave in the comments your tricks to get rid of algae, your seed starting tricks, or maybe even what type of video you want to see me do next. All right, I let our seedlings soak for about an hour. Now I'm gonna go ahead and take them and drain all of the excess water into here so that we're not having water sit in those trays, and that would be another perfect growing condition for algae. All right, If you did enjoy this video, hit subscribe so you don't miss any of our videos, and we will see you on the next one.